good morning. I'm so glad that today we are able to join Professor David Hannay, Clan Chief of Clan Hannay, which is one of our directed giving projects that we're very proud to have been able to be involved with for the past several years, and are now seeing and hearing of great results beginning to happen around the restoration of the tower. And so without more ado, let's join David Hannay. David, good morning.
Good morning. Actually, it's good afternoon here, and it's rather a cold afternoon. So I hope it's not quite as cold with you as it is here. As you know, we have been over the last year or so constrained by COVID, but luckily this year we managed to have our clan gathering at Sorbie Tower, which was well attended and very successful. During the year, we have two council meetings a year, and we had them by Zoom during COVID. And interestingly, we're going to continue to have them by Zoom because it means that many people from indeed all over the world can attend. So that's something which we will continue doing. Before the the night before the clan gathering, we had a reception on the first floor of the Sorbie Tower because we managed to replace the first floor, and that can now be used for events, which is wonderful. And indeed,
David, because when we began all this, it really was not in good shape at all.
No,
it had no roof or anything.
It was a shell, and we have now put a temporary roof on, which is drying the building out, which is wonderful. And we've now put in a first floor where we can have events, and as well as the reception before the gathering. There was also a 60th candlelit birthday party on the first floor, which is very dramatic. So there have been many events in the tower and grounds. There have been medieval reenactments. There have been military weekends, scout camps, folk groups. So the castle and grounds are now a very popular venue for events, for which there are several bookings in the coming year. The aim to restore the tower as a venue for events rather than being restored as a holiday let accommodation. And we've changed that because if you're going to restore it for being lived in, it's extremely expensive. And it would also restrict the use of the tower and grounds for events and indeed clan members. So we're changing the thing. And I think that's important because it's much more achievable. And indeed, the tower will be used for many more things and many more people.
But also, this will mean that this really becomes the tower of the clan.
Oh, that's right. It always has been, but it will be available and used for visiting and, as I say, for events. So the next phase is we've got to check the temporary roof. It's a very good roof, but it has to be checked. It's been up since 2019. And to check a roof requires scaffolding, so all that's got to be got into place. And while the scaffolding's up, we want to replace the wooden window frames with wire mesh. And this is important because the tower has been a very popular place for birds to nest. And it makes an appalling mess in the tower. So the next phase is to make sure we've got wire mesh on all the windows. And that'll be great. From then, these are all works which don't require working on the stonework. For that, we have to get permission from the Historic Environment Scotland because Sorbie Tower is a scheduled monument. So we can do woodwork, but once we start getting onto the stonework, then we have to get permission. So we're negotiating with Historic Environment Scotland about stonework around the vaulting and the stairwell and the chimney and the stairs leading from the main hall. And we're in process of doing that. The work's being organised by Hanna, our convener and now warden of Sorbie Tower. The charity account at the moment stands at 38,542. So there's enough there for us to keep going, but clearly future work depends upon ongoing donations. So that's where we are with Sorbie Tower at the moment. It's work in progress. The other thing which has changed, and maybe people haven't wanted aware of this, is the surrounding woodland, which we don't own, was cut down for timber. And this means that the whole views from the tower have opened up, and you can see right over Wigton Bay to other parts of Galloway. And that would have been what the tower would have been like when it was lived in. And the reason why it was built on the sort of slight mound where it is because it was surrounded by marshland. So it was a very defensive place. Sorbie means, in fact, the place of a marsh. And if you round it, there were several buildings. There's even the remains of a medieval settlement there, and a large trench went right the way around it. So it was a very much of a fortified place, but fortified by the surrounding marshes. So that's all been opened up. Rather, the trees have come down and the views have been opened up. So it really has a quite different feel to it.
But also you have a very strong clan internationally. You are very aware of all your members over here. You have wonderful groups who are very active, as well as in Canada and Australia. And I think that your news of Sorbie Tower and what's going on is really exciting for them at this time, because at the beginning it was, we want to do this, and now it's, we're doing this, we have done this. So this really increases the push for support from everybody to become involved.
Well, that's right. And as I say, Clan Hannay Society has been going now for about 60 years. It's an international society. We've got members in America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and also some in Europe and, of course, Ireland. And in fact, the biggest group is in America. And I'm glad to say that the American members are now getting more active with a branch, which will mean there'll be presence of Clan Hannay at the various Highland Games, and that's a very good thing. So we welcome that.
Well, we're very excited. We've been at a few Highland Games this past summer and printed out information and trifolds and things, and there is great interest in knowing the next steps. So what are you planning in 2023, apart from the mesh on the windows and those different bits? I heard that there was also some big construction ideas ahead.
Well, the construction ideas depend upon the stonework.
Okay.
And I've already mentioned that we have to get agreement with Historic Environment Scotland to be able to do that. Even interior work? Even interior work, yes. If it involves stonework, then we have to get permission. And there's evidence that Historic Environment Scotland are now rather loosening their rather strict requirements, and it'll be more possible to use other materials for replacing some of the stonework, such as concrete and cement, which we wouldn't have been allowed to do maybe before. And of course, the other thing is that buildings like this, they use lime mortar, and it's not just cement. So we have to get the lime and mortar analysed and use equivalent lime mortar in order to work with stonework. So it's quite a complicated business. If you go ahead with putting in timber work, that's okay. I mean, it takes time and money. But once you get into doing stonework like vaulting the stairs, chimney sides, then that does require negotiation, and also some expert people working on it. Well, we're really looking forward to hearing more of what is going on in the coming months, and we're very honoured that we can help in a small way as a directed giving project, allowing people to make applicable donations. Yeah, and so we're going to give them thank you. And so we're going to give them those details at the end of this. Right. And it's always lovely to hear updates from you. So I hope in the coming months we can maybe make a visit to the tower to see how it is all looking. It would be great. We'd love to see anybody who comes along. And we always try to welcome them and show them around and show what's been happening. So, David, a very best wishes to you this holiday season. Thank you very much. And we look forward to speaking with you soon. And thank you for taking time to do this spotlight today. Not a bit. And very good wishes for Christmas and the coming year.